Alright, here you go. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Known Classics. This is episode number 3089, and Doubleshot. I think it's 89, correct? Let me take a look, be sure about that. This is Doubleshot 3090, and Doubleshot 2984. Got two group trades for today. First of which we have X-Force by Ben Percy, Volume 6, which contains issues 34 to 37 of X-Force. It came out 4 issues? Well, they probably had to. Like I said, Ben Percy is the writer, with the artwork here done by... Now, by the way, this is from X-Force. I believe this is Volume 6 of the series. Yes, Volume 6. Chris Allen does 34, 35. 36 is mostly done. 35 also Extalager does an artwork to 35. Robert Gill pretty much is the rest. Okay, so it goes to 38, not 37, 38. So 34, 38, roughly 5 issues. Yeah. So, basically it's more... So, the X-Force line at this point in time is comprised of Domino, Deadpool, Omega Red, Sage, Beast. They wrap with the whole Beast. Also, Beast. The Beast basically was previously evil, and they kind of wrap up that storyline here within the first couple issues. Here he's like running a prison, doing experiments, and this lasts the first couple issues. And of course, Sage herself gets revived, is being killed, and Maverick is part of the roster too. You probably think, look at the cover, like, Wolverine? Isn't Wolverine part of this roster? No, he quit. So, I think at this point when this came, I think he was just featured in just his own solo title. So, and by, this is issue 36, right? 35. Yeah, so by the end of this, you have one point, looks like you have people recovering in the, we have Domino. Looks like that she and Sage might be doing something. Like, it's almost like Ben Percy, the way he writes it here. I don't think it's that, like, the way the artwork presents it. It's almost like, is it just me, or is it just that maybe Sage and Domino become a couple with nothing doesn't happen? So then, of course, Beast himself gets captured by the end of this little storyline. By the way, it's a prison out in space, and he's finally arrested, brought back to X-Force. And then with the very next 2 issues, it is... Well, looks like you have Domino to go undercover. And you have, look at Omega wearing a pink suit, and you have Domino wearing a dress. And you have Beast basically saying, I'm still the head of X-Force. And X-Force is basically like... Well, apparently Sage gave the green light, like... And Beast is like, I'm still head of X-Force, and the team is like, you have to earn back our trust, because basically they don't trust him. Like, fine, whatever. And of course they agree. And this whole thing about having a heart and then lots of fighting here. Yeah, and by the way, she's on the cover hiding her chalk white skin. More plant stuff here. You have Colossus look like he's digging some ditches in the Savage Land for some reason. Yeah, and these two were previously a romantic couple, but not anymore. Yeah, Colossus is part of the roster too. Yeah. Along with Black Tom Cassidy. Those of you thinking, why the heck is Colossus on X-Force? Shouldn't he be on the main X-Men team? He has more of X-Force before when Sam Humphries wrote the book. But my guess is Ben Percy right threw him in because Dawson McCool. At one point, he had Jean Grey part of this roster, but not anymore. Nope, Jean Grey is off the roster. So, if you look at this lineup here, which is basically Beast, Domino, Sage, Deadpool, Black Time Council, Mega Red, the only people who actually have experienced part of this book, who have been part of previous part X-Force, has been Domino and Deadpool. Beast should be charged of be on the main X-Men team. Nope. They put him in this book. And of course they have doing Ox coming up here. And they deal with this they look like a father and son duo. Bunch of more experiment stuff here. More Krakoa stuff. Yeah, unlike Wolverine, where it has very little to do with Krakoa, this one does, but not too much per se. And of course, here with the Hybrid 2, and of course they take it down, and they take the son, but the kid look like the father died, and that's it. It's a pretty okay set of issues, nothing terrible per se. I'm gonna give the book roughly a 8 out of 10. Next up is something a little more exciting. We have Web Warriors Volume 1 Electroverse. Yep, the Web Warriors. We are comprised of Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Man UK, Spider-Man India, Spider-Ham, Spider-Gwen, and Arena. Well, actually, this one, she's Spider-Girl. But then she becomes Arena once again. So, this contains the first, I believe, it's the, well, this contains the first 5 issues of this short-lived book, and basically it's backed up highlighted from Amazing Spider-Man volume, I think it's volume 4, number 1, written by Mike Costa, art by Dave Bolden. The other specs are like Steampunk Zero, written by Robbie Thompson and Dennis Murrow, Web of Life Destiny Spread, also issue 1, Mike Costa wrote, Dave Bolden, and there's also Church and Quantum State. When I first heard about this series, and I heard that my cousins were like, "Oh, cool! Prior to this, the guy had just previously did G.I. Joe Cobra, which was amazing." And he does this book. And I think after this, he did Venom. Yes, this book only lasted 11 issues. Unlike some books, basically, I tend to agree with how long it lasts for. The premise of this book is the show lasted longer. So we start out in 1602. Well, looks like we have a version of the Sinister. They call it Sinister Sextet. Well, it looks like they take over. Looks like London. But look how the Web Warriors come in, and they beat them up. And the whole thing with these issues is, basically, we have a version of Web Warriors for Electros. Like, look who the Web Warriors made of, and it looks like they go into the 1960s Spider-Man show, where they beat the Spider-Man villains, run into Spider-Man, which is funny. Oh yeah, and also we also have Spider-Man here. This was written about like it was in the show. Whopping web snappers, a bunch of gifts wrapped up for me. That's funny. And we see Korn. Yeah. This is basically a bit after effects from the original Spider-Verse event. So, this team was formed to basically control the Webverse. Oh, a little fun fact. This was, at the time, the only book that Arena was featured in. Spider-Gwen was featured in this and her own solo title, which was going for a long time. It's still currently published right now. And, of course, they hang out on Earth 9105, which is like ancient Egypt. And then Electro shows up trying to rob the place. Oh yeah, and here's the thing. It's later shown that Prime Electro found all these other Electros. But here's the weird thing. He's not in charge of them. Nope, he is not. He is basically their lapdog. And I think the one we have in front here center, I think that's the one inspired by the Jamie Foxx version from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Yes. So you have Lady Spider. I think this is supposed to be Aunt May, a young version of her. And then we see, a steampunk version of Black Cat. And they chase each other. A little bit of side story here with this one. Yeah, at one point in the storyline here, the Electros take over Loom World. They can't go back there. And Korn basically is near dying because he's not near the web of life and destiny. So, that's every way to get back. And in case you're curious though, aside from maybe Arena, there's any visit to 616 here? Not really. At one point in this book, they meet a Dr. Octopus who's a woman. It's every universe, so it's perfectly fine. Where she was part of the Young Avengers, and like, oh, you're one of the good Spider-Woman. She's like, what do you mean good Spider-Woman? Because Peter Parker was a serial killer. Like, okay. Yep, and Captain K nearly sacrificed to seal the Electros in Battery Park in the steampunk world of Spider-Lady. And they're trapped there for most of after these issues wrap up, they're trapped there for the next several issues until this book wraps up. Yeah, and that's kind of the book in a nutshell. The book is really good. It's a shame the book only lasted 11 issues. I mean, what was it canceled, presuming due to low sales? It is possible. But I'm like, you have a bunch of Spider people in this book. And you would think, oh, Spider-Man Noir and all these other characters who are all here in cool character. But I guess either Marvel didn't advertise it properly or something else happened. Yeah. That's one thing I like about this book is like head to end. Yeah, so the full lineup of the now, Karn is basically an ally of theirs. He's a member of the team. You have Spider-Man Noir. Also, Mayday Parker is here. At one point, they run into Uncle Ben, who's staying with them, and yeah, and the weird thing about the Mayday Parker appears here, like, at one point, basically, it looked like Peter died, but he came back. Thanks to Spider-Guy Dan. Yeah, and by the way, Ton Focus doesn't like this version for it at all. Not really. So we had the first issue, we had the debut of Electro Prime. It's not the 6 one, it was actually a different version. So he thinks it's called Electro Prime. But he did the original character for this book. In the first issue has the debut of Felicia Hardy. Well, yeah, and she's only in issue 1 and 4, and that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Karn himself is currently deceased in the Marvel comic universe. Yeah, he got killed off in the whole thing at the end of the he got killed off during Spider-Guy did. He got killed by a creature known as Spider's Man. Yeah, who last appeared in Superior Spider-Man. But in the case of these first few issues, they're really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. One of the members of the Doctors Occupy is someone called Ultimate Dr. Octopus, who is from a book known as Time Slip Collection. Yes, which is something related to Marvel Visions. Just an ultimate version of Dr. Octopus, who's a literal octopus with mechanical arms. And also, Lady Spider joins the roster with issue number 3. Yeah, when this book wrapped up, she popped up maybe a couple times after this, and that was it. Sadly. The Ben Parker, when he first showed up. Well, when he first showed up, a lot of people were not happy we had this version of Ben Parker because, from what I remember, is that it's like Marvel just cannot get away from Ben Parker. They have to throw him in there. But he's a good character. And here's the weird thing. Does Max Stone himself become part of this group? You know, the one from the 616 universe? No. He doesn't. I hardly know anything about this. Oh, and the female octopus, her name is Octavia Otto, and she's a good guy. You could think kind of in the way this book led into Spider-Man Gaiden. The Spider-Gaiden book. Yeah. It's like we just had to throw in basically the whole thing with the oh, by the way, there's Electro who's a Skrull. Yes, seriously. An Electro who's a Skrull. Because, just cuz. Yeah. But yeah, they've been trapped in Battery Park for a while. Yeah, and somebody might be thinking, okay, so Electro knew nothing about this. The Dr. Octopus of the 616 universe, did he know anything about, like, the Ultra Dr. Octopus? No. Not really. And look at the members. Like, there's not even the Ultraverse Dr. Octopus. He's not part of the group. And kind of the same thing with Electro. There's no Ultimate Electro there. Yeah, but for the first book of Web Warriors, really good. Excuse me. I give it roughly a 9 out of 10. Great book. And yes, I was correct about this. He did do Venom right after this. Yeah, and he didn't do a lot for Marvel, sadly. No, this was not his first book he worked on. First book he ever worked on was A plus X number 6. Though it was a backup story. He also did the All New Action Special, the Joker Hulk Special, Spirit Tarantino Special. He did the Avengers Millennium book. Which I'm looking forward to basically like discussing at some point. I don't think I've actually covered that one. No, not really. I haven't. So basically, when I finish doing this book, like the only books left to go for him is just Scarlet Spiders, Avengers Millennium, and the second volume for Spider-Verse. So okay, so this event came out after the originals of the second Spider-Verse. Well, actually, more like, well, he wrote that, but in case you wondered, when did the Web Warriors first show up in the comics? Pretty much like at the tail end of Spider-Verse, the original one. Yeah, so I'm going to end it here and just go on to my next video here, okay? So, until the next video, bye.